They did?
I will vote. I have a candidate in mind. No, I'm still trying to pull it off.
I think, yeah, it matches your shirt as well. It puts it over the top. It's not here. Oh, that's nice. That's good.
That's on tape, you know. Can't deny it.
You're not going to show this to anybody, right?
It's going down
Hello, Steve. The thing that would be her page and the floor out. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about what about a piece of I don't want to be on it. You especially don't get it from the back.
blank you out. You're not even on there.
I was going to say, you're supposed to watch it disappear.
Just wanted to get on record how much birds eat.
I don't know. It takes more than one so you don't get to come back all the time. I'm not going to
Jack, I've done it in the crowd. So strike it up here.
Just go back up.
Richard Parsons would be a better person to be.
No, he wouldn't.
Who won the Roger Baxter lookalike contest? That's number 2. That's good.
4276 brake shoes.
4276 brake shoes.
4276 brake shoes.
What was the maintenance record on Rogers City vehicle? Okay. You're doing good. Phil Nappy's wonderful.
Inspector Sam.
Inspector Sam. Okay, let's see.
Inspector Sam.
Okay. Let's see what this says. After his recent trip, what did the Chinese government name Roger? Oh, we're on a roll now, I'm telling you. This is tough.
Badge, radio, ID, whistle, flashlight, binoculars, citation book. You can repeat that.
None of your life. What did Roger have on him at all times, 24 hours a day? Okay, we're going.
Airstrike.
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 What did Roger threaten habitual violators with?
Handrails.
What could be found on every house in Rogers territory?
I don't care who you are, you have to paint your house.
I
don't care who you
I don't
are.
care who you are.
You have to paint your house.
What did Roger tell Jim Newby?
Yeah. No lie.
Thank you very much. We have a hand for Phil now. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate it.
George, George, would you come up, please? I think everyone remembers, or many of us remember George Schatz. I first met George in 1972 when I came to Dayton. George, welcome back.
Well, I met Roger when he came in for housing inspection, and I found him to be very conscientious, which everyone has said. But the thing that made me sure he was conscientious was that the first stop we made was behind this house where I'd been having trouble with, and there was a pile of garbage and trash and what have you, and I said, Roger, I can't find who the owner of this property is, so I can ticket him. Roger, with his aggressive nature, he dove into that pile and he came up with an envelope with an address. That solved my problem. But by way of UD, I did talk to some of his friends and customers down there who said that when I told them he was retiring today, they're having a party tonight. and he's not invited, and I can call it a celebration. Roger, we hope you enjoy your fruits of your life in retirement.
Send a troop of National Guard to the Gulf, and Mexico doesn't know what to do with it. Roger, when they called me, they told me this would be a roast. You and I have known each other too long. We've shared too much for me to come up and say anything about you that would appear to be a roast. But I'm very happy you got that award. I don't have an award for you, but back about 1977, Thomasina Martin brought me a belt buckle. You've always worn a belt buckle with some crazy Indian name on it. Bell something, OA something, nobody could pronounce it. Some river down in Texas. So I'm going to pass my belt buckle on to you that Thomasina brought me. And it says, Brothel and Casino Inspector. In the words of John Thomas, that means whorehouse and gambling joint.
Great.
Roger, old buddy, we go back a long way, a lot of things to talk about now. One of the things that came to me was the time you and I and John Thomas were standing in the back of that house on Ardmore Street, and that pigeon flew over, got me on top of the head, and I said, damn, I wish I had a Kleenex and some toilet paper. And you said, why? That pigeon's all the way over downtown. Roger, there is so much I could remember. You know, I understand you've traveled all over the world, and you're probably the best traveled person I know. But I remember the time you and I and George Schatz went to Columbus, wandered around for some reason. On the way back, we took the scenic trip, the slow one down Old 40. And George suggested we stop and get something to drink. And you said, there's a little town just down the road. And we said, what town is that, Roger? And you said, the sign back there said, trash barrel, 2 miles. Roger, one time I walked out into the office and you were standing there trying to hug Helen Birch and Mary Chadwick. And I said, what's going on? And you said, I came out of the basement, I'm covered with rat fleas, and I was trying to shit. Roger, we went upstairs to the washroom. You stripped down, buck naked, and I took a spray and sprayed you. And we were scrunching the rat fleas as it fell, and I'm sure you remember that. That was the time I was impressed, Roger, of how well you had been endowed by Mother Nature. Roger, as you pussyfooted around the washroom in your birthday suit, you mistook my envy and admiration. If you were as cold as I am, yours would be shriveled up. about wasting money while you flew around and remember the Civil Air Patrol. But I remember one time, Roger, seriously, that we had a culprit we couldn't serve the orders on. And he worked out at Wright Field. And you put on your major Civil Air Patrol and you went out to Wright Field and they gave you an escort and an office and took you in, had you wait there while two MPs went and got that guy and brought him in. You served the order on him. I remember that right now. Made up for all of it. Roger. I remember the time we went in that bootleg joint out by Delco, and this guy had everyone come over at lunch because he showed erotic movies to them. You remember? You wanted to see those movies, and we told Chris Krug if he didn't let us watch those movies, that we weren't going out on any more raids. Roger, he went to the proprietor and said, "You sit down." You put your best movie on there. We'll watch it. I'll decide whether we're going to confiscate your tapes or not. He put that movie on, and there was 36 couples in a circle in various stages of social intercourse, and it was too much for your eyes. There were so many people that were doing so many things, you couldn't watch them all at once. And remember that little mama bear? Carol Gasper got up and hung her coat over the projector, and you leaped to your feet and you tore it down. Told her not to do that anymore. Roger, my time's about up. You know, Kenny's going away to party. Any going away party, there's always someone who tells that old poem by the white knight of poetry. The woods are dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and far to go before I sleep. And I hope you travel a long way, Roger. And I've enjoyed knowing you, and I hope you have a happy retirement.
Earlier, that I want to review some information that I know firsthand. Roger was assigned car 221 in 1981. He started working UD in 1981. Every spring for 8 years, he had a brake job on that car. Twice, though, in 1983 and 1988, he had 2 brake jobs in the spring. Now, I'm not suggesting it has anything to do with the girls out there sunbathing, but I think 14 brake jobs in 8 years probably has something to say about it. So, fleet management was getting a little upset about all these brake jobs. And I didn't know about this until I got his car. There's a little red light in that car that comes on every time you put the brakes on. But Roger defeated it. And they installed this. Every time he put the foot on the brakes, just like a big I don't think it worked because I understand as we speak today, his new car is in the garage. So I think what we'll probably have to do is Ray Landis will probably end up having one of these on come springtime. So Roger, just a little token of fleet management. That is the Roger Baxter Brake Buster Black Box.
Hey.
Secret was you're supposed to go on and put my brakes on the put on the brake and on the gas at the same time.
Ah.
Mike Dugan.
Well, I came to the city about 12 years ago, and Roger was the
source of my training. I think Roger's probably trained about 75% of all the inspectors that we have now. And I think he has an objective to wash them out real fast. You know, they find out real quick the worst side of the job. His record, we had one guy that lasted a half a day. He took him out to UD, and the guy had firecrackers thrown at him and everything else, and he went back to engineering in a hurry. But my first day, I walked in, and I was introduced to this guy that looked a lot to me like Joe Friday, in appearance and in manner. And within 10 minutes, I was on my way out of the office. We went to court. We made 10 inspections. He took me down a Wino hotel on South Main Street that had a hallway as long as this, and the whole thing was lined with vomit from the occupants. Sorry, it's lunchtime. This is how it is. And then at 1 o'clock, he brought me back and for mental torture now, and said, read the housing code till 5 o'clock. And I thought, oh my God, I do need the money. So anyway, after Roger's super high intensity training, I was so brain dead, the only thing the city could do with me was put me into mid-management. There's been some... I'm brain dead now. We haven't had merit increase yet.
You might not.
There's been some discussion about Roger's driving. Roger really has two speeds. He has stop real quick, and he has fast ASAP. And when I first got in the car with him, it was kind of an out-of-body experience. My body was still back here. And back in that old Maverick he had, I don't think there were even any seatbelts in it. And Roger's one of those guys, he's driving down the road 50 miles an hour erratically and looking at you as he drives. But he reassured me. He said, you know I'm a minister. And I said, God, I'm glad because I'm going to need one. And on the blizzard day in 1978, there were only 2 vehicles downtown. And of course, since Roger was one of them, he ran into the other one. This is true. This isn't made up, okay? But it probably wasn't his fault because the other driver was Jerry Cohen, the guy that says, see you, please. There were probably 3 of him, and Roger didn't know which one was the real one. So anyway, But, you know, I had this image of Roger, you know, the Joe Friday, strictly the fax man and a minister and everything. But I really saw that he was a true human being. One day I borrowed his car, and I had to do a panic stop. You know, because I remember that car stops quick and goes fast. I hit the brakes, and they lock up, and something hit me in the foot. And I reached down and picked it up, and it was a paperback book. And I picked it up, and it's called High Flying Stewardesses. Remember that? This is true. And I turned it over on the back, and you read that little description about the book, and it says, follow 3 long-legged high-flying stewardesses. They wing their way across the country from hotel to airport and all their exotic adventures in between. And that book was all dog-eared on. I read it 12 times. Anyway, I'll stop there. But I got to get serious for a second, though. Roger is a super guy and a super friend, and Roger belongs to a special club. He's one of those people that you can ultimately depend on. This man has never, ever one time let me down, okay? I've been broken down in the car, and I've called him, and he drops everything he's doing to come get me. Or if you say, I have a problem out here, he just takes off and goes and does it, and you don't have to worry about whether or not it gets done. And there are not a lot of people in this world that you can 100% depend on all the time, and he belongs to that club, and I am really going to miss him.
Unfortunately for some people, like to take the low points of a city employee's career and put them to song. And many times when I try to think of something creative to do for these song parodies, I try to think of a song that fits the image of the person who I'm singing about. So I was overwhelmingly influenced by the theme to Rawhide for this. So try to imagine the bullwhips going off in the background. Now the chorus is very simple. If you feel inspired, you feel like shouting along with me, it's write 'em up, post it high, make 'em all comply. We all know why. Roger. That repeats. All right. Very simple. Has to be. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you like it so far? Roger, 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 he sure ain't a dodger. Working hard is his claim to fame. Working in the city, in places dark and gritty. Code enforcement was his middle name. Wyoming down to Irving, sure could be unnerving. Students and their landlords for shame. With his pad and flashlight, Roger sought to do right. Code enforcement for him was no game. Write 'em up, post 'em high, make 'em all come fly. We all know why, Roger. Write 'em up, post 'em high, make 'em all come fly. We all know why, Roger. He has a friend on Frank Street who won't keep alleys too neat. Sometimes it was quite a disgrace. Baxter didn't worry, he wrote tickets in a flurry. Many a man could not keep up that pace. Who joints and drug houses sure were full of louses. Roger was the man for the case. Task force calls him on the double when they look for trouble. They know Roger will close down that place. Write 'em up, post it high, make 'em all come fly. We all know why, Roger. Write 'em up, post 'em high. We all know why. Write 'em up, Roger.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, the wonderful, the adorable Mr. Jim Fradanek.
It's been a joy to be Roger's supervisor. He has truly made me look good in the last 2 years. And the only thought I had of a humorous nature is that our City of Dayton Landmarks Commission has been a large success in beautifying the city. And I thought we needed an entity that would motivate city employees to lose weight. So I recommend that Roger be given a volunteer job as the chief enforcer of the City of Dayton Stretch Marks Commission. I have a cowboy sort of song. You'll know the tune as Home on the Range. And I've never seen Roger riding a horse. I think he's a modern-day cowboy who's traded in his horse for a Cessna. And let's face it, the exhaust smells a lot better. Welcome you to sing along on the chorus and the verses too, if you like. Roger's come to an age, a brand new life stage. Goodbye to the daily treadmill. His dues are all paid. He can fade to the shade, and now he goes over the hill. Up over the hill. Each new day will
Oh, that'll make a picture. Hey!
I really think it's only fitting that I give this to our guest of honor.
On behalf of the organization, I'm proud to present this gift to you and for all the fine your work and your contributions to the organization.
Thank you. I'll let my wife open it for you.
All right.
That's the hardest string I've had.
Good thing you're on the payroll. This is work. Expandable. Letter.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
To mind when they were talking about him still having a little vim and vigor. He was telling me about that his son and daughter were going back to college and how pleased he was about it. And I said, well, Roger, that's kind of unusual that you'd want the children to be gone. He said, oh, he said, yeah, he said, my wife and I said, we enjoy that when they've gone. He said, I chase her around the house. He said, I even put the dog out first.
Yeah, I'll just try to sum up in a couple minutes because I know all of you want to get back to work. But I guess I was hard on cars. 9 months, I had 3 wrecks in 9 months, and I went through driver's class, and I finally told them I wasn't going anymore to driver's training until they got a new instructor and some new jokes. I promised to drive better. It's a lot of things I could say, but I have enjoyed my years. I've enjoyed the superintendents we've had and what they've done and the help they've done. I've enjoyed each one of the inspectors. Some of you, we've had different times together, and some of you, we've eaten lunch together. Some of you wished you hadn't rode with me. Do things like that. But to think back over what one particular thing perhaps that I want to remember is too many. I'm kind of like a person that was teaching a class at the church last week, and he said, he was teaching the book of Acts, and he says, this is the best book, the most interesting book, the one I enjoy when I'm teaching. And he quietly said, whatever book I'm in, that's what I enjoy. I guess that's the best way to sum up what I'm doing at the time is what I enjoy doing. I enjoyed flying, I enjoyed doing my housing work. Ruth's surprised I turned down a call last Friday night to go out on a raid, and I told the dispatcher, I says, you know I'm retiring in 4 days. How about calling IS-88? He says, okay. And then I listened to Lee as he went out, see what he was doing.
And he made Lee call him and let him know what was going on.
And then Lee called me last night. He told me about going back to our favorite house last night. And of course, I asked him a couple of questions. But coming to work today, I guess, was it. When Ray was driving about home, I said, Ray, I'd seen the guy driving his city cement truck down, and I've been trying to get license plates on this car for now almost a year, over almost 2 years. And I said, let's go by Frank Street and see if the guy got his license plates on the car. I said, this is the day. And I just don't think he'll do it, the way he's been acting and so forth. We went by, sure enough, Ray's going to turn in a case I closed. The guy put his license plates, current license plates on his truck and his car. Now, I don't know whether all of them are run, but at least they got their license plates on them. And also, I want to thank my friends from the Flyer Properties for coming. I mean, they kind of thought I was mean, but John sent me a Christmas card that I really appreciate. It's going to be in my book of memories, John, because I showed it. I was proud of it. And Harold and Rochelle and what they did, and I know they'll be working with Ray and Chuck Adams. I could tell you a lot of things about him. The first time I made an inspection UD, we was in 39 Evanston, and he looked at this, the bathroom floor, and the rug was turned up on the end of it, right, and I says, Chuck, you've got to seal these floors, and I quoted him the code that you had to seal the kitchen floor and bathroom floor, has to be reasonable impervious to water, easily cleanable, you know. He said, oh, Mr. Baxter, no. I said, yep. And the next year we started the inspections, the first thing he said, I want to thank you. And he was one of these men that always did a little extra when you asked him. He sealed them. He said, I didn't have to paint 4 ceilings. I've been painting every year under the bathrooms in the houses I have. I didn't know the reason why you're supposed to do certain things. Just try to do that, you know. But I could go on, but again, I can't say anything else, but thank you very much. I love you all.
About 120.
I'm a sheep farmer.
Not bad one, bad.
No.
You're a mutton
Bad housing inspector.
You're a mutton puncher, aren't you, Timmy?
Right. That's right.
Sheep shearer. Do you like to play with sheep dung?
Editorial comment.
Huh? Do I have a comment? Yes, Steve.
Sheep ship.
If you were going to show it to your family, I would really tell you something. I know you'll take up on the show.
Get Herman.
Yeah.
Get Herman on the phone.
Yeah.
He don't believe.
Put some wings on it.
He don't believe how you
so
talk.
that if you wanted to try to fix the place up a little bit. Okay, now you and your dad have been working together, or just you? Huh?
Dave Evans, is it true that they retired Roger Baxter's number today?
That's correct. His number was 30. It'll never ever be given out.
Buck, he's wear an ugly tie. He just put on his.
Don't do that.
Do what?
Don't take any pictures.
No, I won't.
Okay. You're just telling me up for
I'm
me.
just.
Aren't you? But so you don't get to run around, you don't.
Get a picture of this guy hard at work.